Hello, Physiology 141 students. My name is Ross Langston, and I'm your instructor for this online asynchronous Physiology 141. So let's break that down. First of all, online, you know what that means. Everything's been online for the past year or so. But by asynchronous, I mean that this class doesn't meet at any particular time. You can log on at any time and view the lectures and do the readings and also take the quizzes. But do be aware there are deadlines. Usually it's by Friday at 11 p.m. So you can kind of work at your own pace as long as you stay ahead of the syllabus. Okay, so this class is intended for students that are in the allied health field, so let's say pre-nursing or rad tech and things like that. If you're just a normal sort of, regular AA student, I wouldn't recommend taking this as part of a biology requirement. It's just a little too difficult for that. Okay, so let's go down to the course website and talk about what's there. So first of all, you can see we're on the overview page. And if you go down there, you'll see outlined right there is my name and also my phone number. This is my cell phone number, and it's the fastest and best way to get a hold of me. Just send me a text, or if you need to talk, give me a call. Email is also fine, but I want to give you a prompt response, and so texting is really, really great if you can do that. All right, so let's look at the course website. Everything you need is on the left-hand side here. Announcements will pop up here. There's also the syllabus, which is very important. The syllabus is sort of your roadmap to the course, and it's also the contract between you, the student, and me, the faculty member. So once again, there's my contact information, some information about the course, and then, of course, you want to know, what do I need to do to succeed? How do I succeed in this course? And it talks about what you need to do. There's exams, 3 of those worth 200 points a piece, excuse me. There are 15 quizzes, and those are taken weekly, but I drop the lowest 2 quizzes. And so if you miss 2 quizzes or something like that, or don't do very well, that's the solution for that. Keep in mind, I do not repost quizzes once the deadline has passed. If you forget to take a quiz, you'll get a 0 very easily. So my advice, and I'll say this again, is to take the quizzes early. All right, class discussions, they're called discussion boards or forums or something like that. We'll have 3 of those worth 20 points apiece, and we'll talk about where those are. And finally, there's exam reviews prior to each exam. And so this is kind of like a practice exam that goes through the question pool, so you get more practice preparing for the exams. So here you can see the grading scale. Keep in mind the actual number of points might change, but I do sort of grade on the 90 to 100 is an A, that kind of thing. I don't generally curve, so don't be expecting a 3-point curve at the end of the class. Please also note that I do not give end grades. So if you're doing badly in the course, you need to think about dropping before that deadline comes up. Okay, learning resources are going to show the textbook here in a minute. Student responsibilities, you can read through that. And then let's go down to this last page. This has the schedule for the 16 weeks that we're going to be together. And you can see that each week there's generally a chapter, sometimes 2 chapters to read, and there's at least 1 lecture, sometimes 2 to view, and there's always going to be something due by 11 p.m. on Friday, and that's usually a quiz or sometimes a quiz and a discussion board assignment. So always remember, Friday there's something due, and most of the time it's 11 p.m. is when that thing is due. All right, let's close that down, and we're going to go back to the overview page. Okay, the next tool down we can see right there is a link to the textbook. Now this is an OER textbook, meaning Open Educational Resource, which means it's online and it's free. It's not the best textbook in the world, but it is free, and that's a good thing. And so the readings are in here on this online textbook. If you're a real Luddite like me and you like a paper textbook, you can actually purchase this off Amazon for about $50, which is a fraction of the price of what it normally costs for a real textbook. Okay, so that's where our textbook was. Now let's go down to start here. So start here, again, it's just you go to it one time. There's some general tips for success in the class, a little bit information about me, and then 2 videos you will need to watch. And these are videos that are by former students that have succeeded in this class and have gone on to become nurses, or in one case, nurse practitioners. And so you need to watch those 2 videos because they're going to be basis for one of our first discussion board assignments, and we'll go to that in just a second. All right, other things you need to see in here, resources, we'll have study guides and things like that. And then the grade book, if you click on that, will have your grades. So there's my grade. Oh my gosh, I've got an F right now. And the reason that I have an F is I've only taken the quiz once and I did really, really badly on it. So I can go fix that by taking that quiz up to 4 more times before the deadline passes. All right, other things you can see on here is assignments, tests, and surveys, and that will be where we actually take the quizzes. And so if you go on here, you can see, oh my gosh, where did chapter 1 quiz go? Well, for some reason, when you take it, it bumps down to the bottom here. And so you should be able to see it pretty quickly, chapter 1 quiz. And you can see I can try again. So I just hit try again, and I go through there, and there's 20 questions, and you're given about 10 or 15 minutes. Now keep in mind, you take the quiz up to 5 times, and only the highest grade is saved. But you might get a high grade the first time and say, that's it, I'm done. I wouldn't suggest that because it goes to a large question pool. And by going through those question pools and taking the quiz multiple times, you get a better familiarity of, what kind of questions might be on the exam, hint, hint. So it's to your advantage to go through there and take it all 5 times. Again, if you miss the quiz, I will never repost it. So you need to take the quizzes and take them early if at all possible. All right, so below that is something called these modules, basically. You can see there's a module for each of the 16 weeks in the class. And so for week 1, I'll send out an announcement and say, go to module 1. And this module 1 is orientation of the human body. Okay, so there's a few things to do on here. One is strategies for success in online anatomy and physiology classes. It just says, go back and make sure you go to that start here and you watch those 2 videos by those 2 excellent success stories that I had in this class at very different times. And then based on that, do some web searches and kind of go through the syllabus and figure out what is your best strategy for succeeding in this class. And when you do that, you want to go click on here, and that will take you to your first discussion board assignment, which is a Flipgrid assignment. You might have to log in or create a login. But basically, you have to watch those videos and have a response to it that says, this is how I'm going to succeed. These are the strategies that I found out from those videos. And I also have this really cool tool, and let's say from KenHub, everyone likes that tool. Then you also have to post a video response to 2 other students. Now, I think there's a time limit here, and it's only a minute and a half. So you might have to go through this a couple times and polish your response. All right, so once you've done that, then you can see, oh my gosh, we've got a lecture there. And of course we do. Now, the lectures come in 2 formats. If you click right here, it will be a normal YouTube format. And so, it will be usually about 45 minutes long, sometimes more than an hour and 15 minutes. It suggests that you go through and maybe do the reading before you visit the lecture, but it's up to you. But you do need to take detailed notes. Now, what are other resources there? If you go down here, you'll see that there's another type of file that has the same lecture with interactive questions. And that is really cool. Unfortunately, it doesn't work where I am right now. I'm in Indonesia. And so, but if you click on that, it will be the exact same lecture, but there are interactive questions in there that will help you see if you understand the material. Okay, and you can see here, there's their Chapter 1 introduction. If you click on that, it takes you to the textbook. And then you can also see there are some PowerPoints. If you like to have a copy of the PowerPoint, there it is. If you just want an outline, which is like a PDF version, that's there as well too. So we'll go ahead and open that up. Okay, and there you can see we have all the different slides that are in that presentation. So a lot of people like to print these out and write on them. So they'll have, some notes that go along with the slides that I'm going through in the lecture. So if you like that, that's there. And there's also, again, a copy of the PowerPoint as well. So a lot of information on there. So basically, you're going to watch that lecture, you're going to do the reading, and then you're going to maybe, print out some of the handouts. And then you're going to take the quiz. Now, once you've done all that, you want to check everything off in your checklist before you say, I'm done for the week. And keep in mind that there's always something due by 11 p.m. on Fridays. So make sure that you keep ahead with the quizzes and don't get behind. And that's the best piece of advice I can give you for this class. Okay, so that's all I have for now. As always, if you have any questions, just go over to here, the overview. And if you go to the bottom of the page, you will see my email address and also my cell phone number. So don't hesitate to give me a text, a call, or an email if you have any questions about the course.